Welcome back. So last week's video was all about finding the personal in personal knowledge management. I spoke a lot about how videos like this should be inspiration and not guides. Today I want to give you some more inspiration on how to get started with the collection or capturing part of your PKM journey. When it comes to what I read online, what works best for me is to add my reading to Omnivore the second I find something that I'll be interested in. This serves two purposes. The first one is I don't have to be scared of losing a tab among a million other tabs and then not finding my place again. But it also gives me the ability to chuck a lot of seemingly interesting information into a bucket and then sort through this bucket when I'm in a better headspace to find the gems and get rid of the duds. I often find what I think are interesting articles when I don't really have the time to read them. It usually goes like that. Going through them later when I have more time, it helps me distinguish the truly interesting articles from the ones that were just sort of shiny in the moment. But stop, you say. You used the word before. Omnivore. What is Omnivore? Well, it is a read it later app, just like Pocket or Instapaper. Omnivore is completely open source and it's very easy to use. An added benefit for me is that there is an Obsidian plugin and an Android app. The app is not perfect, but it gets the job done when I'm not at my computer. When I am at my computer, I also have the Firefox add-on, so I can just add articles with a click. Here, I'll show you. So let's say I think this article seems interesting, because I do. When I come across this article, I'll just press the M right here. And just like that, it's added to my Omnivore inbox. As you can see, when it flashed by, you could press add a note, or you could add a label that's sort of like a tag. But we can just press again here and go on to read now. And it will just open the article here with pictures and everything. So this is the reading view. I like the layout the articles get when I read them in Omnivore. The Quanta one already has a very great layout, but some articles you come across, it's chaos. But when you read it in Omnivore, all that extra stuff gets sort of stripped away and it's easier to read. What you can do now is right click and drag, and you get to either highlight or as slightly, oh, there we go. And you could make a note and sort of just add your thoughts straight away if you feel like it. But let's go back to my Omnivore inbox. I see I already had it open here, but we'll press here. So here's my inbox, is what I've saved. Omnivore tells me when I saved things and shows me an approximation on reading time. I find this to be not so accurate. I think I'm a skimmer, sorry. Another really nifty feature in Omnivore is that you can set up emails for email lists. I love me a good weekly newsletter, but sometimes you don't want to read it when it comes through your inbox, and then it either annoys you or it gets lost. With Omnivore you don't have this problem. So we'll just press here and press emails, and then we have an address here, and you can just create a new email address. You can use just one or create several. I don't have the use for several sort of different emails, but I guess if you want to sort them in some way. But for me, I just need one. So now I showed you how to save an article, how to highlight, and where to make notes. But the next cool thing then is the Obsidian plugin. So let's head over to Obsidian. The plugin itself has a few different settings. When you set it up, you need to find your API key on Omnivore so you can connect it to your account. Then you have filters, and you can either just import the highlights like I have it, or you can import all the articles, or you can choose the advanced. But you know me, I like it basic, okay? I find that I just want my notes and highlights. Since I can easily press a link and get to the article, either on Omnivore or the original piece itself, I don't need to fill my vault with other people's words. I do have a folder of reference, but I prefer to have my Omnivore reading like this, just to keep a link to the original, but keep what I need in my vault. So when I want to fetch my articles, I just press this button right here, and then they get sorted here by date. So you can either read it on Omnivore or read the original. If you press this icon right here, it takes you straight to your highlight in the article itself. That's also good for context. It's super helpful to just have the context right there. Then from here, I'll just process like usual. I'll go through my highlights and I'll sort of decide if this is actually something I need. What did I think about when I found this? Is this idea still relevant to me? Is it connected to other ideas in my vault? Just the usual processing stuff. So from here on, they get either chucked out or they get their own note. So that sums up my basic walkthrough on how I use the Read It Later app Omnivore in my workflow and how I do part of the capturing process in my PKM system. What makes Omnivore better than other Read It Later apps? Well, for me the answer is how easy it is to use. I also appreciate that it's open source and that I can choose to self-host if I want to. Self-hosting is not something I've set up yet, but it's on my roadmap of things to get done. But this is just one of those things where I can't actually tell you that Omnivore is. I just know it's the best for me and for what I need. Pocket felt too clunky for me, and I didn't need Instapaper's weird speed reading thing. Omnivore and I just clicked, and I hope it clicks for you. But if it doesn't, don't be afraid to just try something else. You shouldn't force yourself to use something just because other people are or because it's the hot new thing right now. Omnivore is basically the perfect Read It Later app in my opinion, for me. If you enjoy this basic walkthrough of my favorite capturing app, please don't hesitate to give this video a thumbs up. And if you want more content like this, I would love it if you subscribed.